Hi everyone, this is me again, Jo, and welcome back to the channel. And in today's episode, we're gonna dive into a very spicy question asked all over the internet. And forgive me if this is a little outdated. I'm not about the pulse, although I admit I really have to keep my finger on it. Do you think Filipinas are really scammers? But what if I told you they are just used receiving money? Let's talk about my culture, instinct, and a little Filipino psychology, shall we? Okay, by the way, before I start, this video is tailored for those people who keep hearing things about Filipinas and to those people who are simply curious about my culture. So, shall we start? Number one, in Filipino culture, the woman handles the money. And wait, it's normal. It's not suspicious. Okay, let's start with the basics. In the Philippines, women are the one who control the budgeting. But wait, Jo, that sounds so manipulative. No. And it makes a man weak. No again. And let me explain this. It's literally part of our culture. Allow me to give you an example. In Filipino culture, the Filipino husband always say, "This is my salary. Ikaw nang bahala." Or it translates to, "It's up to you how you manage it." Now, some of you might asking, how does that look like? The wife pays the bills, buys groceries, handles emergencies, and gives his husband his baon, or we call that allowance. That's just family's work. And you know what's suspicious in my culture? If it is the man who controls the budget. Everything's clear? Now, we're ready for number two. Filipinas don't ask directly. Know what they do? They present the problems. Now, this is where misunderstandings happen. A Filipino rarely says, "Give me $50. No. Normally, she would share a situation. Situations like, "We don't have rice anymore. My brother needs a school project," or "The electricity bill is due." Now, to outsiders, it might sound like she's hinting to manipulate you. But in reality, she's just communicating it in a Filipino way. Because in the Philippines, it is the woman's job to state the needs of the household. And it's the man's job, traditionally, to respond. So here's what's happening. The Filipina states the situation, and then the man provides the solution. Now, that isn't scamming. That is cultural script. Now, Filipina loves a leader, just not in financial aspect. So, how does that look like? Filipina loves a leader, but not in financial aspect. So, how do a man plays a role of leadership and financial? If a Filipino loves a leader, here's what usually happens. And let me give you an example. Jenny, she's in her senior year in high school, and she happened to become a part of cotillion. And she needs to buy a new dress. So Jenny would go normally to her mom, present the situation. "Oh, mom, I need to join the cotillion. I need to participate in the cotillion, and I need a new dress for that." She didn't say, "Oh, I need 1,500, mama. I need 500 ma because I'll become part of the cotillion or some dance group. She wouldn't say that. She present a situation. And here's how a man plays his role as a leader in financial. The mom would normally say, go ask your dad. And then Jenny would go to her dad and say the same thing. Present the situation and then ask his dad for approval. And then dad, if it is okay with his dad, he would normally respond, go to your mom, ask to give you 1,500 to buy you a new dress. See? You get it? Number 3, Filipina knows how to activate a provider instinct. Let me explain. Filipinas are naturally feminine. And cliche as it may sound, a masculine man always responds to femininity. And Filipinas, they're good at not demanding, not putting a pressure on their man, not insisting. They're good at sharing a need. And they let their man decide on what to do. And honestly, you foreign men love it because it makes you guys feel purposeful, needed, and masculine. Now let's be real. Men love to take care of the woman they care about. Because if you weren't attracted to this dynamic, you wouldn't date a Filipina in the first place. Because the truth is, these Filipino women are not trying to manipulate you. They're giving you an opportunity to play your masculine role. And most men take it willingly. Number 4, the only time many men call a Filipina scammer. Here's the funny part. No man would call a Filipina a scammer during the relationship. Never heard one. Some men would say to their friends like, oh, my Filipina is so expensive. She loves to buy new things, go to a nice place. But it doesn't really sound like he's complaining. It's more of like he's happy about it or he's very proud of it. Because many men often call the Filipina a scammer after the breakup. You know why? Because while in the relationship, these men enjoyed being the provider. They loved that their women can depend on them. They felt masculine, needed, appreciated. And when the relationship ended, suddenly every peso becomes evidence. Here's the simple truth. If she didn't deceive you, she's not a scammer. Because receiving a support in a relationship doesn't equal fraud. Learning something? So, number 5, this is very interesting, right? So, before you judge her, I'd like you to understand this. A Filipina who accepts money often is either following a cultural role, doing what she's used to in Filipino households, or communicating her needs indirectly, because that's normal in Asia. For many women in the Philippines, the idea of a man helping financially in a relationship is not unusual. It's expected in a committed relationship. And that doesn't make her a scammer. That makes her a traditional. Okay, congratulations. We're approaching the climax. Number 6. And let's be fair. Scammers do exist. And we're not pretending everyone is innocent. There are many Filipinas who would misuse culture to scam foreign men. And this episode is not for me to spot those scammers. But I'd like you to spot those type who would just share their problems naturally. I'd say who doesn't pressure you, who is consistent and emotionally invested. Okay, she talks about her future, gives you affection, time, and commitment. And let me tell you, those type is just likely being a Filipina. Learning something? Now, my final thought. If you want a traditional woman, you have to accept that traditional relationship comes with traditional expectations. And that's it for today's video, fam. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you again in the next one. Have a great day. Bye. Mwah.